Well, hello, my dear gardeners. Finally, spring is here. And you know what? For me, spring is the best time of the year because sun is out and definitely we are having warmer nights and warmer days. And I'm really hoping we wouldn't have any cold snaps because our winter here in Connecticut was really good. We didn't have any frost damage on roses. My hydrangeas in the front, by the way, that last year they didn't have good season because a lot of buds, the top buds were damaged by the frost. In my region, hydrangeas are just borderline, of hardiness zone. But since our zone moved now, we are zone 7A officially instead of, or 7B, I'm not sure. So my hydrangeas are, the whole top buds are green, so it means we are going to have beautiful blooms this year. And roses didn't suffer a lot, so we don't have a lot of stem damage. I'm slightly behind with all the trimmings, and suddenly there is so much to do in the garden. And I always joke that even raking of the grass now in spring is so wonderful, and I actually enjoy it. Usually I don't like it in the middle of the summer because there are so many more exciting things to do in the garden. But now, cleaning up, doing the regular spring stuff. For me, it is switching these bags with compost. Fresh compost is ready for the winter. And how do I know that it's ready? These bags are full and then suddenly they collapse to this level. And everything what is left is just soil there. So I have plenty of them. I have probably like 10 bags. And I'm going to clean up all this, layer everything valuable, whatever needs extra nutrition, especially my roses, with nice compost. So that's like a gold in the garden which I have. And today we will walk through the garden to see how my handmade structures stood. I must say we didn't have any severe damages or severe epic falls or destructions. All my twig structures stood and they looked so wonderfully in the winter, especially when we had big snow, because they showed the skeleton of the garden. And since they're so airy, twiggy, snow fell through them. The snow did not accumulate, so it wasn't heavy. So they all stood and they looked magnificent in winter snow, although we had only one big major snow in the winter. My kids were very happy and that was enough for me. And now I'm hoping that this is middle of March. We are not going to have any major freezing spells. Well, we will see. March can be tricky, but looks like sky is blue, sun is on my face, and happiness is here. Life is good. So let's go and show you around what's happening here. Pardon the appearance, because my garden is not cleaned up yet, but there's a lot of stuff going on. My wattle fence is standing strong. I love it. This is its third year, and I keep adding twigs on top. And by the way, there is a video how I made it. It's not difficult, but the most difficult part of it is to find sticks. I'm warning you, you need a lot of sticks for this thing. But this is such a good background for my garden that if we move ever, I think we would move in several years, I will introduce this in my garden everywhere. If I have bigger property, I'm hoping so. So it is pretty sturdy. What I did, I made sure that I attached the long sticks to the fence behind, the link fence there. And oh my gosh, I love it. I'm letting this ivy run through it, and I think I'm not going to keep it too happy here. I will trim it a little bit because ivy can be heavy, and ivy can take this fence down eventually. It's getting very strong here. All right, now Barberry is waking up. It has beautiful green foliage here. I love it here. It's well trimmed. My Abovite looking a little bit bare because it's losing its third year leaflets here, which is fine. It's going to perk up very soon. Don't worry about your arborvitaes if they're looking slightly miserable in spring, which is fine. And my rhubarb is waking up. Look at this fresh foliage. I love it. I planted this rhubarb last year and it's so good here. We are going to have rhubarb pies this year. Strawberries are showing up. Great. This thing here, we probably will throw it out because it's getting a little bit too old. And now bugs are joining in and I kind of don't like it because our house is wooden house. And we are cautious about termites. We have friends who had issues with termites. But my pots, I left them outside. I kind of forgot about them. And they lived through all the temperature change. So probably it's another sign that we are moving here in Connecticut into the warmer zone of 7A. Let's move around to another side. My Lady of Shalott is delightful. She is not trimmed yet. She's already leafing out. I'm a little bit late, so I will be doing it today or tomorrow. By the way, here's a video how I did it. I probably will repost it to make it more precise. It looks very good. Both bushes didn't lose a lot of stems. This guy is getting smaller and smaller by the year. There are two Lady of Shalotts here. And look how lovely it is. Oh, I love these guys. Their own roots here. The best space. These are the prima donnas of my garden. Yeah, and they are because they're gorgeous. In the middle of June when they're blooming here. Great. But look at this. This is my Katrina rose, gorgeous. This year is going to be its first best display. It's its third year here, so I'm expecting nice great blooms there. This structure I made 2 years ago, and this is going to be a big support for my roses here. They are doing all right. This year supposedly will be their first best year. They should grow really strong. Oh, I didn't notice the daffodils are coming up here. Look at this. Oh, the sign of spring. Beautiful. Look at them, cheerful. Sign of spring, you know, like kisses of spring. And this is the year when I love to see bugs. Flies are flying around and I'm actually happy to see them. Oh, everything needs a lot of work here, you know, but that's okay. Gardeners in the middle of spring are very eager to work and be outside. My boxwoods overwintered very well. They didn't have a lot of browning. Of course, they greened up right now and they look good. They're getting tall. The taller ones are Green Mountains, and I planted them really small, and look how nice and big they're getting. I really like them. This structure looks good. I need to change one side only here. You see, this side is getting a little crooked, so I will fix it. Otherwise, it is standing here, and it looked very well in the middle of the winter. Big giant arborvitaes lived so well here through the winter, greening up too. It was somewhat dull in the middle of the winter, but looking very good right now. And unfortunately, my little wattle fence here didn't do well through the winter. I suspect animal work here. We had raccoons in the garden last year, and I suspect they didn't give up their hunting route. So I can see that stuff needs to be done here. How did the path live? Good. It's getting darker and lichens are colonizing the stones. Very good. It's amazing how quickly, if you don't pay attention to the garden, how quickly the nature moves in, you know. I wasn't cleaning this path through the winter and suddenly it's covered with twigs and everything else. Oh well, and winter is blooming. The cheerful lavender blooms. I love it. And you know what? Some of you who live in warmer climates where you don't have 4 seasons, you were asking me how to live with 4 seasons. And my advice would be how I do it. When winter comes or fall comes and it's starting to get dreary and rainy outside, I just move all my attention and everything into the house. I literally close the garden, prepare the garden for the winter. It's like you lock the room and put the key away. And then the house life begins with all the baking and cooking, decorations, da 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 da. So I rarely even, I walk in the garden, but I rarely do stuff in the garden. And then spring comes, the house gets neglected a little bit, but all the life is in the garden. That's how I live seasonally. And in spring you have all this energy to go out and do things, and then through the season when summer comes into crescendo and moves towards the fall, gardeners are getting maybe not tired but kind of full with all the gardening experiences, and they are ready for a break, for winter. So whoever is moving into four-season landscapes, territories, this is advice for them. Just use every season, and for the winter move into the house, enjoy the house, and then spring comes, the garden will be back here again. My best season is spring. Now, the beginning of everything greening up and becoming lush and green. Oh gosh, there are plenty of new adventures in 2024, my dear gardeners. I will keep you updated. Happy gardening, and we will see you around.